Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. Welcome back to War Thunder, and today Operator Chan is going to start off the replays for us with the swing fire of all things, as multiple missiles fly through the sky. Operator opting to scooch back just a smidge there, and eventually picking up the final shot on the mouse. If this was a MOBA, I think the mouse would be a tank character, because it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that's light enough to be a carry. Anyway, here we have some rare footage of the swing fire doing well, and that is no surprise given our erstwhile compatriot here, Operator Chan, always very effective in the armored vehicles from the evidence that I see. And of course, if you're having a bad day, you don't need to send in that replay. So you always look good over here on Toshio Thunder, even if I give Ozzy Mantis crap every now and then for his aim. It's all in love. And anyway, the swing fire is definitely one of those vehicles that's made for a real world meta that just doesn't see as much traction in War Thunder, and that is sitting behind cover in a prepared defensive position and taking down targets of opportunity as they push forward. Well, that's just not always the case in War Thunder, but it doesn't surprise me that it's the Russians that are feeling the brunt of the swing fire's mighty power as he sends volley after volley of individual guided missiles into the enemy. I've got to say, there's a lot of vehicles that I haven't played in War Thunder, and they just keep adding vehicles to the dang game. I just kind of feel like I'm happy with US 5-7 after all the time and money I've spent getting that golden lineup going, and I miss out on so much of the game, so much suffering and pain and stock grind and swing fire. This is usually an ATGM carrier that just doesn't have a great reputation, but in the perfect circumstances it can be perfectly adequate. Anyway, here we go into a live gameplay from, you can see this is the official Cone of Arc wrpl Chan, and unfortunately she has been destroyed. That's too bad. One of these days I'd like to feature wrpl Chan a little bit more on the channel. She is delightful, but instead it's Big Papa KV1. What is this? The KV1 B finish? I can't remember. Gaijin changed the name on the thing a few times, and you can see I've forgotten where to shoot the Sherman, but don't worry, I've been watching Fanatical Freeman's streams on Twitch, so I remembered just in time. I'm channeling my Freeman, and it's working out quite nicely for me. As you can see, it's always nice when the enemy just kind of lays there and performs the Catholic defense while you line up your shot. And of course, the Catholic defense is the only acceptable defense according to the Vatican. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know if you guys are going to get that. Anyway, I kid. This is an evening battle, crimson twilight as it were, and the repurposed Soviet horde serving nicely in the German army as we, well, I would say push forward. We're just kind of going to be thrusting all around until we encounter resistance, and then pushing on through it sans lubricants. Anyway, this is a delightful heavy tank, and I think people are still getting used to the meta for these evening matches, and I really like these dusky battles with flares. I love the flares, by the way. I think they're implemented really well. It was a little bit confusing when they were being described before they came to the game, but what I see is just, I like what I see. Sorry, I'm being confusing. It's been I'm gonna say it again, a long day for me. I say that a lot, but I'm getting tested for COVID tomorrow, which is lovely. And I've just been exhausted today. Did not sleep well last night, and Brooklyn, the tank toddler, stole my spot on the couch where I normally sleep by accidentally falling asleep there. So she was all wrapped up in her blankie with her Lammy and her Spider-Man pillow. Wait a second, that sounds premeditated to me. And just get the dirt to eat that shot. And can we catch the little M22? We got him this time. Those things are faster than packet loss, I tell you. And they are tricky to take down when they're moving at full tilt. Just teeny little weasels, and they're just all over the place. And it doesn't make you feel bad that you're in a KV where you have enough armor to ignore the little fellas for the most part, up until the point where they get APDS, I suppose. I just can't wait. Post-war APDS for all the American 37s, please. It's just not dominant enough. But actually, I've been really enjoying playing American vehicles lately. I've been kind of trying to get back into the swing of War Thunder. I don't know, I just feel like I'm rusty after playing the Harrier, where all you do is wait for the missile to growl and then send it flying and then get shredded by the other Harrier because I bought the American one. Anyway, that is that, and I've been enjoying this. I've been really enjoying getting back into mid-tier and low-tier, where War Thunder just really shines for me. You have all these skills that you build up, and you get to dunk on people that are still figuring out, you know, that pressing W is not the win button. And it took me years, man. It took me years to figure out that, like, waiting and setting up in a good defensive position and having an understanding of where the enemy is before you move from one cover to another is so essential to success in this game that it feels great to go into lower tiers where people don't realize that, and also to play a ridiculously overpowered vehicle like the KV that you see here. I mean, the ordinary KV-1 that you find in the USSR tech tree is just so strong. And the premium variants with add-on armor are just absolute ridiculousness. They do have weak spots from the front that can be taken down, especially in an up tier. And on top of that, they're extremely difficult to raise in BR because their gun just really falls short at that point. It's sort of the Jumbo syndrome, only instead of the Jumbo being, you know, strong in the front and not a lot of other places, the KV-1 is just strong all over the place, except, you know, that teeny little weak spot in the cannon breech and parts of the mantlet, and sometimes the driver's port every second Sunday. But this is not that day, and we're just kind of, we're not even looking for people, we're just waiting for someone to shoot us and then firing back. It's we're defending our neutrality. Anyway, M16 MGMC, I think that's what it's called, the one with the 450 cals. That's such a cool SPAA. It really fits the short-range SPAA meta well, and I'm sure it would be an absolutely terrifying thing in terms of infantry support. Anyway, that's not this. This is War Thunder, and it stands no chance against the KV-1B. That rapid-fire 20 mil? Is that a pasta truck? It sounds like a pasta truck. Italiano in distress. Let's see if we can save our Paisano friend. And indeed, maybe kill feed. Oh yeah, he got him. Sorry. Sherman 105 is pretty strong as well. I wonder if there are other variants of the Sherman 105. I think it's a pretty neat vehicle. I'm a big fan of howitzers. I like high explosive stuff and big chunky spud guns. I don't think that they're represented well enough in War Thunder, although I suppose they are. But in the end, high explosive. I've talked about this time and time again, but everything that goes kaboom in War Thunder is sort of nerfed down a bit. So the meta is always going to be armor piercing, and no, not you HVAP. never HVAP. Anyway, speaking of armor piercing, we're facing off here against the Ram Mark II, one of the finest medium tanks in the game, tier for tier, sitting at, what is it, a 3.7, on par with a lot of the Shermans that you'll find in the game at lower tier, and yet with a significantly more reliable armor layout, to the extent that I forgot how to kill this thing. I mean, especially in a KV1. It's been so long since I fought one of these guys, and their upper side armor is fantastic. I went for the driver's port there, but that's actually a very small target, especially with volumetric shells being what they are. And he's been punching some holes in my ship, but at the same time, he's trying to juggle the full might of this Teutonic army, and it's just not going to end well for him. And again, I'm really messing up my shots here. I forgot how to kill this thing. It's the that rounded lower plate that covers the transmission. By the way, and again, Fanatical Freeman told me that's the place to shoot him. So I'll take his word for it. I haven't managed to pin one of these things down lately, but you can see that the Ram himself is having some issues, especially now that we've taken down his cannon barrel and our erstwhile ally has flanked him good and hard. So that was fun. That was 11 kills, by the way. Good stuff. Yeah, that's just what KV1s do. Anyway, this is Viski now in the B-18. The kind that you find in the Swedes, and look at the power of the cannons on this air quotes bomber. This is one of the finest bomber hunters in the game. It sits at a ludicrously low battle rating. I think it's somewhere around 4.0 right now. I could be mistaken, but with a bomber air spawn, with a huge cannon and a couple of 20 mils, as well as rockets, and if you feel like it, bombs. This thing is just an absolute monster. You can see Viski is sitting at half upwards of 3,000 meters, and he's just he's dancing around these BF-109s. They can't outfly him, they can't shake him, and yet look at the size of this thing. It baffles the mind. Are the Swedes lying about their stats again? Is this the STRV-103 all over again? Or did the B-18B actually handle like this at high altitude? I don't know. It's not like we have combat stats for the darn thing, right? At least I don't think we do. Maybe somebody else flew one. But you'd think that this would be the end for our friend Viski, now that the German fighters are above him. But, well, we'll just have to see what happens. He loses exactly one pair of rockets. That's all the improved performance he needed. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a replay bug. Maybe he had other things on his mind. I don't know. TA-154, couple of 20s and couple of 30 mil MK-108s. Anyway, very deadly nose-mounted armament coming his way, and Viski, excuse me, it's the legs again. Why do I do this to myself? So, Viski manages to jink the fella, and Ta performs a high yo-yo, comes back onto Viski's tail and gets some very telling hits into his airframe, but not long until Viski, now on 1.5 wings, is able to tear off the wing of the German heavy / night fighter. So that was nice. A quick land and repair, and in short time an enemy P-63 is on his tail, and this is just, I mean, this is unforgivable. The P-63 deals some good damage, but you just don't linger on the tail of an enemy bomber like this, or Come on now. Or holy cannolis, he can take a lot of damage, or that happens to you. So, also, I've noticed that for heavier aircraft like the B-18, as well as for others, it seems that the overall construction strength of the major parts of the aircraft have been made more durable. I got some free floating flaps there. That's a fun little visual bug. Somebody report that. And the War Thunder forums bug report. But aircraft are a little bit tougher now, and I like that. I'm a big fan of, I don't know, just being able to survive a few hits in something that should be able to survive a few hits. The B-25 still flies to pieces when 20 mils sniff at it, but that's, you know what, that's okay. The B-25 is strong enough. In fact, the B-18 might be just a little bit too strong. I don't know, like, does this thing ever lock up? How does it have so much elevator authority? It's pretty ridiculous, and at high altitude, with its huge amounts of wing surface area, it's just a monster. It's such a weird mix of just everything. And you know what? I'm gonna choose to believe that this is an accurate representation of this strange and wonderful aircraft. What an odd duck. What a strange beast, and what a difficult position for the rear gunner to be in. I think he's not in a pressure sealed greenhouse there. Yeah, he's tits to the breeze, so that's gonna get pretty cold up at high altitude. But don't worry, Viski's going down. Like, holy cannolis, these enemy pilots, they're flying like madmen. What was that, a Focke-Wulf just popping up there like a spring daisy? My goodness. And yet tanking more damage after landing twice to repair. Viski now shooting a 5th aircraft down off of his tail and picking up his final kill of the match. Very nicely played. The B-18, lads and ladies, the kind that you find in the IKEA aisle, and a beautiful one at that. Now, a little bit of Sonderkraftfahrzeug, in case you couldn't tell. This is the Hello Kitty variant that I designed when my daughter was born. So this is as old as Brooklyn, and I gotta say, I really love that kid. I mentioned that she stole my spot last night. She stole my couch. So then I decided, you know what? I used to sleep on the floor. Like take naps on the floor when I was working firefighting. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap on the floor. Then I lay down on my stomach the way you do when you're laying on the floor, and I felt more cushion there than I felt back in the day. I am noticeably fatter than when I was working out for a living. That's it's kind of makes sense, I suppose. But at the same time, there I am, sleeping on the floor eventually, and I wake up and Prickler was like, oh, sorry, no, that's right. I woke up and I just, like, I don't know, I wasn't sleeping well again. Like, I'm pretty sick, and I don't know what's, I think I caught another strain of COVID, but we'll find out tomorrow. So I wasn't sleeping well, and I decided to sleep on the other couch. That would be the couch that Brooklyn normally sleeps on. So I push all of the toys and pillows and just random crap out of the way, because she also piles all her stuff on there during the day. And then, well, my house isn't a mess, you hush. Then I wake up and Brooklyn's going, you can't take my spot. You took my spot. It's just like, okay. So I put her back in her spot. It's like 4 a.m. So I sneak into the bedroom and I go to sleep in my own bed that I haven't slept in very often, because when baby Joshie was born, I moved the two of us out into the living room, and so that mommy could get some sleep because she works at the post office. She goes to work super early. She usually gets home fairly late, and she's just constantly sleep deprived. But to the point where if she doesn't get enough sleep in a day, she could die. I mean, she could fall asleep while she's driving to work. So it's really important that she gets enough sleep. So we've been sleeping in the living room, and it's kind of nice, you know. I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to when I get to sleep in the nice bed again, though. So I was like a happy dog. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a pet dog, but like when they get into your room and they just lay across your bed and then just like roll their bodies all, yeah, that was me, man. I was claiming my bed. I was so happy to be in there, and everything smelled so nice. And I fall asleep again. And this time I wake up at like a little bit before 8 a.m., I think. And I wake up to the forlorn cries of, "Can I have some ice cream? Can I have some ice cream?" And Brooklyn is going from room to room in the house, forlornly looking for me and asking if she could have some ice cream. It's really just all about her. And then when I showed up, when I appeared to her, she said that she couldn't find me and I'm not allowed to disappear. She's got a lot of rules for me. It's weird. It's like every time I give her a rule, she gives me a rule too. Who's actually in charge here? It's a little bit of a struggle every day, I tell you. But she's just such a cool kid. She's so driven, and she's so self-motivated that it just doesn't make sense for her to have someone else tell her what to do. She's already got plenty of things to do. In fact, you know what? You're not moving right now, so she's got some things for you to do. That's right, you. She'll get in touch. Anyway, what are we looking at here? I've just been screwing around with my it's either my 4.0 or my 4.3 German lineup. I can't remember, but I wanted to take my BF109 F4 out for a spin, and as you can tell from the little snorkel there, the extra air filter next to the engine cowling, this is the tropical variant, and this is a camouflage you might recognize from my YouTube logo. This is one of my early camos. I really like how it turned out. I'm a big fan of the game Undertale. It moved me. I stopped playing it because I made a mistake. I killed Goat Mom, and this is that. So I really like the looks of this one, and you know what? I understand if people are fans of the historical appearance of vehicles in War Thunder, and I gotta say I really like the way that Gaijin does things when it comes to painting up their equipment, but I don't know, I just like to make things mine, and I'm a huge fan of video games and anime and cartoons and all that fun stuff, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So, if you really hate that kind of stuff, you probably got turned off to this channel ages ago. I don't know why you're still here. It must just be my sunny disposition. But look at that, low flying. Just the 109 F4 is such a nice aircraft. It's thoroughly enjoyable to me. It's so familiar. It's so deadly. 200 rounds of MG151 20 mils straight through the engine, and a couple of machine guns to help you get on target and, you know, maybe squirt around a little bit after you run out of cannon ammo. I'm not going to judge. And just, you know, all around great handling energy fighter. One of the most beautiful shining examples of what Germany was trying to do with fighter aircraft for a while before they went nuts about top speed. And you know what? You do what you gotta do. But also the ability to carry a 250 kilo bomb, which as you see, with enough skill and a little bit of luck, can do things. And all in all, you just have a thoroughly enjoyable experience. And you know what? For the most part, that's what War Thunder 2.0 has been for me. I've really enjoyed this latest major update. It's been a massive massive update to the game. A lot of changes, especially in the terms of graphics and also sounds, and even something as simple as the way that aircraft hold together in this game. And for the most part, it's just been really, really positive. So, love to see it. Also, tricolor smoke. I really appreciate having that. Speaking of, with the Twitch Drops event going on, I've been spending a little bit more time lurking among my favorite Twitch broadcasters. That's the European Canadian and Fanatical Freeman, in case you were wondering. And there's a lot of good people streaming on Twitch in terms of War Thunder content, but I just kind of have to choose one or two, because I don't even have time to spend time with those folks the way that I'd like to, just because of, well, I mean, I gotta prioritize things when it comes to time and how I'm gonna spend my quote free time, because I got 3 kids, and there's this whole COVID thing going around right now, so like there is no babysitter. All of the old people run from us in fear, and one day we'll have access to our elderly again, and our friends and neighbors will be able to take our kids away from us for a while. But until that day comes, I've got stuff to do. And you know what, raising my kids it's always been something that I wanted to do. I wanted to raise my own kids. I wanted to spend time with them, and just my kids are such cool people. I'm really happy. And also, I've been playing some Genshin Impact. I've been doing a little bit of working out when I don't have, SARS. And other than that, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I've been trying to manage my time, I suppose. But what I'm really trying to say is I love the relationships that I've developed with you guys online. Whether you just watch the videos, I really love it when I hear from you in the comments, by the way. Just the perspective that you guys have, and if you could pat me on the back and tell me I'm a good boy and something you liked about the video, it makes me happy. And I don't need it by any means. I don't need you guys. I'm well taken care of. Between God and my wife, I'm pretty well sorted out. I don't need any other friends than that. But you know what? It feels awesome to have a lot of friends, because I don't know, I got a lot of love. So share a little love with those targets down there on the ground, shall we? They don't seem to be appreciating it. Paint more hearts on the plane. They're not getting the message. Anyway, we'll get through. 23, or sorry, these are 20 mils. Yeah, Soviet 20 mils eventually get through anything. But yeah, I guess sending my love. It's been a long year. I think it's been a really good one for sort of putting things in perspective, reminding you about what matters. I've been a hermit, oddly enough, for most of my life, most of the time, even today. And I mean, I don't get out of the house. I get online. So it's nice to see you guys here. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. There's a link to my Discord if you'd like to join me on the only social network that I actually keep tabs on. And that's all I have to say about that. Gosh, I sure am entertaining this time of night, but it's been a long time. I've actually had this video lined up for a few days, but I just haven't had holy cannolis. 5, 3, 7. Those are some good numbers. We did well on that one. Now I know why I shared it with you all. That was a good match. Anyway, that does it for the live gameplay and the rest of this video. It's been a long time making this one. Not putting more effort into it, but just I've been sick and I haven't had any energy. But I've been doing some other stuff in the meantime. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.